I
actually
didn't say
believe that?
teachers are being paid too much.
Okay.
Never said anything of the sort.
But you're saying they should be paid as much as an Amazon. I mean, I think Amazon workers.
No, I
should be
didn't
paid
say that either. You were
Right.
talking about the immiserating conditions. They're not in immiserating conditions. They've got, they're in classrooms and they're in school, in
immiserating conditions in the sense that they're getting worse and worse. If you're getting less pay per year,
everybody is.
Not everybody is. Executive pay has gone up 40%.
Okay,
The
you already
100
talked about a very small minority of people.
FTSE 100 companies.
Vast majority of people in this country are poorer today than they were a year ago.
The shareholders at the rail operating companies have made over £300 million just this year.
Yep.
There's lots of people who aren't suffering.
That's not lots of people. That's a tiny. That's the top 1%.
Yeah, top 1% who aren't really doing any of the work but are extracting the profits.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Karl Marx. I didn't realise that was a conversation we were having. No, but come on, Ashok. This is the thing. Most people are getting poorer. Now, there's still a lot of support because you say people are saying, yeah, you know what, we understand your pay has been cut in real terms and over the last 13 years and particularly over the last year, and we support you, whatever you can do. However, there's also a point where people go, but what about my kid, or what about my mum getting her hip operation, or when it comes to public sector workers, there is this feeling that, well, we pay all these taxes, we're not getting the services we want. Do you think there's a point when people are going to say, actually, you're no worse off than the rest of us, and you are making our lives harder, and we don't support you? Do you think that point's going to come this year?
Well, I was on this show an entire year ago, and you kind of asked the same question. I said, look, there's no way of predicting the future, and what we've seen is poll after poll. After the summer, in the autumn, we thought it would get worse in the winter. It hasn't gotten worse. Maybe it's gotten worse, but the polling doesn't indicate that. Because I think there's a number of factors. One, public sympathy, because everyone's affected by it. Everyone knows a striking worker or a potential striking worker. And people enjoy, like your earlier guest said, enjoy maybe even working from home. So you have a proportion of the population that don't mind a rail worker strike. So all of these things coming together means.
But again, that's a tiny little sort of middle class little enclave.
Sure. I'm not denying that. I'm saying the additive effect of this, I think most of it comes from the idea that most people are affected by the cost of living crisis. I think that's actually the underlying issue.